Before Alaska became a territory in 1912, miners would take the law into their own hands, oftentimes beating, banning, sometimes even murdering people for their crimes.
But eventually we would move away from this type of vigilante justice, and eventually, Laurel, if you couldn't shape up, they would just ship you out.
After Alaska became a territory in 1912, Alaskans moved away from hanging and whipping of the misdoers. And instead, they turned to another method. Scoundrels who would not or could not find legal employment and instead drank too much and caused some havoc in communities were shipped to the lower 48 with a one-way ticket. Referred to as blue ticketing, this method of getting some of the bad people out of Alaska was used by the police. Now, they would offer the accused his choice. Do you want to spend time in jail, or do you want a one-way ticket south? And most often, the criminal would choose the ticket and then would be transported by horse or train down to Seward and then put on board a steamship heading for Seattle.
Where did the term blue ticket come from?
Blue ticket refers to the color of the steamship passes that were issued at the time. Now, sometimes community members would actually pool resources to buy a scallywag a ticket out of town if he was causing problems, and business people also would donate to a fund. And anyone who was issued a blue ticket had their name placed on a very special list. They were never allowed to come back into Anchorage by boat again. Now, this method of getting rid of the criminals was very successful for Alaska. Once in a while, one of the criminals would actually sell his ticket once he got down to Seward and take that money and get back into the criminal activities that first got him the ticket in the first place. But overall, it proved to be a very satisfactory way of getting some of those ne'er-do-wells out of the territory.
But obviously the practice of blue ticketing would eventually play itself out.
Yes, it did, and I'm sure that a lot of attorneys were very happy to see it go, for it provided no due process and was probably unconstitutional. However, today we still see a form of banishing going on in some of our villages. In fact, in 2014, the Athabascan Indian Tribal Authority banished 2 individuals who were involved in the killing of 2 state troopers from Tanana. And then also in 2013, the residents of Sand Point met an airplane that had a suspected drug dealer on board. And they handed him a one-way ticket back to Anchorage when he got off the plane, and they made sure that plane took off, and he was told never to come back to the village again. There are also other examples of banishment going on in Alaska to this day.